Awesome. Hello, everyone. Good night, evening, afternoon, wherever you are sitting or lying. There are people that basically do not watch and listen more. Wonderful. Yeah, welcome to today's show. As you can see, it's not M365, it's D365. I will come to this later. So basically, the idea is the following. The tech world is vast, and it's growing and becoming more and more complex every day. And then in this area of AI especially. Many people out there are involved in it, sharing technologies, insights, making a valuable contribution to the democratization of knowledge and access to it. We are participating in this endeavor, but we are taking a different, less orthodox approach. Our aim is to combine entertainment with knowledge, and we are going on a journey together with our guests. We let you look deep into the rabbit hole without getting tangled up in it, and all with a pinch of fun.
And for those long-time listeners that are familiar with the M365 show, it's still around. But there's enough room in the sky for many clouds. So as part of the network, we have our very own fluffy, airy home in the ether. So welcome to the first edition of the D365 show, part of the M365 show network family. So let's start straight to the heart of it all with existential questions, of course. Are we moving away from classic CRM? What is the system anyway? Or, in other words, is CRM evolving or revolving? My name is Angelique Patiago. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP here in the UK, as well as Senior Dynamics 365 Manager. Been a professional as well as community CRM geek for over a decade with a lot of passion and appreciation for what we can do for our end users. I'm one of your hosts, and sitting next to me virtually is...
It's me, Fortunato. So as you can imagine from the name, it's Italian. I'm located in Berlin. I'm a director here at CGI, and I'm managing a team of D365 CE and Power Platform developers in general. I have a strong background as developer, but also a very strong background as gamer, blogger, and geek in general. So chances are high, if you have played any MMORPG, you have met me in any form or shape. I strongly believe also in change management, which also perfectly touches our today's topic. Today, we welcome two important guests to mark our first episode. On one side, we have Dr. Ludvik Reinhardt, a solution engineer from Microsoft Germany. Ludvik.
Yeah, solution engineer. Yeah, that's what I'm working for. My main area of expertise or work, I would say, is actually the Power Platform. So Dynamics 365 is, so to say, the sister of what I'm mainly doing. And maybe a fun fact about me, because we are here in Europe. If you do not know where to find me, come to the geographical center of Europe. That's where I live.
The geographical center. Ooh, nice. Yeah. Nice. Awesome.
Well, welcome, Ludvik. And may I also welcome Thomas Sandsør. We have a fellow Microsoft Business Applications MVP and MCT in Norway, as well as head of Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. Thomas, welcome.
Thank you.
About yourself.
Thank you for having me here. Yeah, so for the people who don't know me, my name is Thomas. I also go by the name of the CRM Keeper, if you've been on my blog. You know, I dib a little bit with some YouTube, some blogging, some this and that, just trying to spread the word about why I think CRM is such a cool topic. And I had about a set of 30 consultants here in Norway at a company called Point Taken. So yeah, fun days.
Welcome again, Brian. So before we start, let's go with a little bit of a fun question. How did you both first come into contact with CRM system? Was it love at first login or maybe more of a slow burn?
Maybe Thomas, you start first.
All right, I can start first. Yes, no, I'll try to be brief. You know, the rule number one is don't ask MVPs to talk about themselves, because that could just take forever. That's rule number one. But I will be brief, I promise. No, I was actually in 2007 in the summer. I just graduated from my bachelor's degree and just wanted to get something done. So we had a program here in Norway called the Microsoft University, which was something that Microsoft had put together, which is like an intensive 1.5, 2 months program where you learn Dynamics. In that case, in that time, it was, of course, CRM. So it was 3.0 we had our first exams in. Well, yeah, I started off as a salesperson and I failed miserably. So I was actually a salesperson hired into a company to sell CRM. I never sold anything. But I still got headhunted to another larger company called Crayon. That was the largest CRM, to do sales there too. Also failed there. I got to a point where I actually got fired, but I was given the option you could continue here as a consultant because I've been doing all my pre-sales stuff myself. So I knew how to configure the system. So I say I had a bumpy start, if that's one way to put it, for the Dynamics platform, but I just like, I like to geek out about things. So I really, I like going deep diving into the tech. So around 2009, 2010, I became a consultant. And since then I I finally started selling as a consultant though. That's just how the world is. But since then I've just been really dedicated to the platform, just had a lot of fun with it. And actually never touched another technology since I started in 2007. So yeah.
So successful.
Love it.
Oh.
Really devoted.
Devoted is a good question. Is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Ludvik, what about you?
Well, my background is, I would say, completely different. I come from a Dynamics 365 F&O world. So I started with F&O, the beast, so to say. And then in every now and then, I was involved in projects where I was also dealing with the CRM side. But my main love still lies with the beast, so to say. That was in my time when I was working for partners. But the last couple of years, I changed to Microsoft, and now you have to learn everything from Word, Excel, until Azure, and of course, Dynamics is still my heart. And that's my background, so to say, with this technology.
Things that people always, or some people regularly are a bit confused. They are saying, "Oh, Dynamics 365. So please tell me everything about F&O." And I said, "No, wait. You're not getting it perfectly at this point." So, CRM to ERP is like, I would say, Stuttgart to Berlin. Okay, or to Berlin to New York. So it's a bit different. Okay, size matter here at this point. Okay, it's very important. However,
they come close together.
Yeah,
have a nice handshake.
We're in a family together, yes.
There's some kind of patchwork family, but it's okay.
It's like an arranged marriage kind of thing, It's like,
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Awesome. Hyper abstract. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now, covering today's topic, right? We are having this traditional CRM, software as a service. Do you think that AI is enhancing CRM or just giving it a shiny coat of paint? How do you see it? What is your perception?
Since I started last time, Ludvik, do you want to start this time?
Yeah. So I think it's not just a shiny coat of paint. I think it's really making life easier for a lot of people, especially if you just compare it with Thomas said he started 2007. How did you enter data at this time in systems? And nowadays it's just, hey, drag and drop things. You can even speak to the machine, so to say, and get your data in. So it's a lot easier, and I see a lot of enhancement in productivity and time that you need to deal with the system. So it's really like your partner or tool that helps you, and not that you have to fill. That's my view on that. Now, Thomas.
I guess maybe you could be the positive voice, and I could be the somewhat skeptical voice in certain things.
I think that really works.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Lou. It's just that my problem with a lot of these new techs is that I'm still at an age. You got to remember who I am and what I represent. Is like for me, CRM is like what I want to be great. And whenever there's a new shiny button, Microsoft's like, ooh, a new shiny button. And they'll invest a lot of time into that, and they lose focus on, the core. And they just keep on thinking like if we do not a lot of shiny stuff on the top, people are going to forget that the core still has issues that we need to work out. And so that's why I have like a plus and negative feeling about the whole sort of enhancement part, because if we look at to begin with, when you obviously see product teams, they have on their cards, we need to have AI, and that's kind of, if you want a bonus this year, you're going to have to do something AI. So the quality of it was so poor that it didn't make any sense. You put like an agent, or not even an agent, a chat on the right side in the CRM. It's like, what is my opportunity value? It's $100. Yes, I see that in the field left here. So it's like, I don't really understand why I'm asking you the questions while I see the answers right next to me. So it's like, it was so primitive to begin with that I'm kind of having issues. But, at the same time, I got to acknowledge Angelique, because you can put me straight here in the way of agents, because I haven't invested enough time in the agents lately. But a lot of stuff has happened there. And I do see that we are getting to the point where we can start doing a lot more fancy automations with our data. I do see that. But if I want to select it for me on the shiny coat of paint, one thing I actually did throughout the summer, and I'm going to push it to GitHub soon, is it's probably on GitHub already, yeah. I just don't know if it's public or not. But I decided to see how far I could pull the whole AI creation stuff in an agent mode with GitHub Copilot. So I built it on top of Dataverse. So it doesn't really matter. Call it Dynamics if you want to, but Dataverse has a background, and then Azure Static Web Apps and Azure Functions on top. Mind you, I don't know anything about Azure Static Websites, and I don't know Azure Functions. I have never written them. But at that point, I was starting to see like, how far can I actually get this up and running? So I'm creating actually a Pokemon game, and I'll make a video about that later. And it's kind of ready at this moment. But I've used all summer just trying to use this agent bot and not knowing what I'm doing, but I'm still getting something done. So in this way, I would say shiny coat of paint. No, not really. It's actually making me more productive, but I'm pretty sure if I were to show this to a developer, he would just shake his head and it's like, wow, this is utterly crap. But it is working. But I am learning some things. I'm just not really sure if it's like the right way of learning, because you kind of do everything wrong before you do anything right, because AI is still at this point right now in these settings. It will just say, oh, sorry, I understand your frustration. Let me give it another try. that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so for personal learning, I would say, sorry for my answer being a bit long here, but hopefully my other answers will be a bit shorter, because it kind of bases off a lot of AI stuff. But for personal learning, I would say that it is tremendously interesting, because I did write my first plugin ever by using AI. And I have, I don't know how, I know JavaScript from CRM, which is fine, but that's basically just copy pasting, scripts you find here and there. But I did do my first plugin, and I can do some semi-advanced plugins now because of AI. And so for personal learning, I think it's extremely interesting, because I am no longer just a functional consultant. I'm a bad developer, if I wanted to put it that way, but it's still good enough to get things done. And then later on, I can, if you want to go bigger and scale, I would have a real dev look at it and, do more with it. So yeah, sorry, long answer, short question, but I'm both on the plus and the negative side on a few of these things.
I think you both raised some excellent points, and I realized how you shared your personal journey in it. So on the human aspect, I think people are evolving alongside tech. So for example, Thomas, something that I've observed in your personal journey is that you've maintained an open mind about where this may take you. Yes, there's an element of vibe coding, but you've maintained, and a lot of people maintain an open mind about what this means for them. Personally, you explore your new skills or things that you may or may not want to take into your professional life, but also you see an opportunity about how to expand yourself outside your comfort zone. I think that's great. It gives us opportunities to think of what's next. And I think especially in the partner space, we see that a lot. We are constantly thinking what is coming next, but we don't necessarily think what is coming next for us. So I think this is quite thought-provoking. And on the aspect of is CRM evolving or revolving, is this a shiny coat of paint? I do believe, since you mentioned change management, that without change management, unfortunately, people may see it just as a shiny coat of paint because they have not invested the time. They have not invested in a more kind of like open mind to see what lies beneath, invest a little bit of time learning and upskilling. And so they revolve around this legacy mindset. I'll give an example. So I've always been into the world of sales, marketing as well, but primarily sales when it comes to kind of like my area of expertise. And I love products like Copilot for Sales. I think it has massive opportunity. And maybe I've been lucky enough to be exposed to content that shows the opportunity. So I love, for example, the content that the Fast Track team produces because it really paints a great picture of what the features are. But not many people might know about the content and thus may not explore the product or may just see it as, well, it's just too obvious for what it does, or maybe it's too expensive compared to the benefits. So we need people who are not just evangelists for the sake of, but can truly walk the walk and put themselves in the shoes of a seller and say, okay, there's a new product. My management is going to spend a lot of money in this. I'm going to have to learn something. What is in it for me? So I think there's a lot of value, but to show that it's more than a shiny coat of paint, we need to invest in the people and what drives them more than just a license, for example.
I think that the opportunities lie or are set, especially in the networking or in the core functionality of all the different elements in D365. So what I mean by this is I'm not only covering sales, but I'm also covering, also customer insight journey, which is marketing, the old stuff, but also customer service, especially. And when you use AI and the information generated within the tenant, you can basically use AI, or I see this as a future potential, to connect those dots and to provide useful information, even if you're not working in the special area. For example, I'm set in an opportunity, and the core idea where AI could strongly enhance my possibilities would be that I am preparing my opportunity and everything, and then AI tells me, do you really want to do this? Because this guy has already opened up 2 tickets regarding this product, or another one has said this, and perhaps this is not the best idea at the moment. I mean, this is where the next level at the moment. But what I think in the end, this will be an enhancement. My fear is, and this is where I am at the other side, is that at some point, salespeople are telling me, or will tell me, why the heck do I need CRM in general? Because if I ask them, I get everything from every information about them that is officially there. I can directly ask what already today, what are the things that I can sell to the person and such, and that's basically it. And I this is what I already hear. And so I think that there are two sides here at this point, or 2 things that may happen, right? 2 dangers. Opportunity and danger, that way it is.
Yeah, there's always a yin and yang, isn't there? And since we mentioned these skill sets, do you both think that people are investing when it comes to in the CRM space more into the relationship aspect of it or the management aspect of it? Where have you seen a little bit of the balance when it comes to investing in those skills?
What do you mean by the thought here about the relationship with the management part here?
Are they investing? Are they getting time back, for example, to work more with the clients? Or are they spending a lot more time managing the product because they're getting closer to it, but there's a lot of learning to do as well? Has it freed up time for them?
I can go quick here and then give you the word afterwards here. I would say, to be honest, even though we feel that we've come pretty far in AI, I think, we're just seeing the beginning of something. And I think that it's very clear about the technology, because if you sort of take away the sort of evangelist hat and you look at what you're actually seeing, it's like there's a lot of cool stuff, but it's not always. That's the point. Some people will get more productivity out of it, but in many cases, it's providing more value, but not insane amounts of value, because you could easily handle let's say in the larger companies that do a lot of sales, they'll do big sales. You don't necessarily have like 20 opportunities running per person. There are fewer opportunities per person. You have somewhat of it over. You know what you're doing in a way per opportunity. But yes, I would say that it does. At some point, you will see someone investing something into it. But I think right now people are just panicking because thinking like, if I don't invest in all of this thing, the train's going to leave the station and we're going to be left behind. Well, at the same time, I'm thinking in my personal experience, it's like, well, you might take the next train because there are so many things going to happen along that road. So learn from others a little bit first, instead of just having to be the first mover in absolutely everything AI right now, because there's so much. And what's actually going to give value? That's a good question, but it doesn't hurt to invest in it. But I think the hardest part right now is not necessarily having to use the technology, but trying to understand scenarios where you can see value, because that's what I think is hard sometimes. That's personal take.
Yeah, would kind of agree with scenarios. But if I look at my own small world and my work, so to say, I would say AI has made me more productive. If I compare it with the last couple of years, where we did not have a lot of AI tools available, I can do at least 30, 40, or even more percent deals and talks with customers. So it really helps me freeing up this terrible office time and entering all of this boring stuff, and really have more conversations with more customers. So basically, I can do more and achieve more with some smart tools in the background that help me getting all the boring stuff done. So that's
that's an interesting thing, Ludvik. Okay, let's just say both of us, and other people on this call, we're seniored people. We've been in this game for a long time, and we kind of know what we want to do. Mm-hmm. Or to put it that way, we know what works and what doesn't work, and we can see this tool as sort of gaining personal productivity, definitely, but also within the sort of skill set here. What do we think about it's going to do to the new people coming in and not necessarily knowing any of the history, but thinking that they have all answers because AI is giving them the answers, and yet AI is still just answering based on whatever blogs it can find to sort of put stuff together? Are we giving them a tool that's not good in a way as of right now? It's kind of an interesting thing, though. I understand you as a personal thing, you get productivity, but you know what you want, because you've seen so many things. But what about the new people?
The question is, this is driving like in Japan, they have the bullet trains. So they're super high speed trains. And the question is, can you stop them? Should you stop them, or should you jump on? So that's the question you have to answer.
It's a good metaphor there. It's a good metaphor. And sometimes all of these thoughts, whether it's an opportunity or a threat or a complete unknown, maybe that's a good segue into us thinking, okay, we've been in this field for a good amount of time. Maybe we turn this into expectations for what the future should hold. What should we expect out of the future CRM products in the new generation, whether it's automation, personalization, analytics, data use, because it's really different. We have you both from two different sides, the partner space and the product development space. And ultimately, how do we channel all these thoughts, feelings, and hopes and dreams, or maybe nightmares, into what we should expect and stand our ground in terms of what good CRM should look like in the future? What thoughts do you have on this?
Lots of thoughts. Want to start, Ludvik?
Well, for me, if you ask how should a CRM system look like in the future, I would say there's no CRM system as we know it today. Just imagine 75 years back, people used typewriters. If you would have asked these people, hey, how would people in the year 2025 use CRM systems? They would say, hey, maybe using typewriters. I believe this user interface, this will totally go away. I think it will be a database, and on top some AI agents or whatever it will be called in the next couple of years. But it will fundamentally change. That's my outlook, so to say. Thomas,
I want
what
to
about
say
you?
that you're absolutely wrong because I love CRM and I don't want CRM ever to go away. And I would have to
It will not
rebrand
go away.
myself
It
if
will not.
CRM
I'm Thomas
is
side.
no longer a thing. But I have to say, Lou, okay, yeah. So by this time, yeah, exactly. Scott has already produced these videos. So if we check out Scott Durrell's videos on YouTube, I think he's actually posted in the Power Apps YouTube channel or something like that, where he's talking about generative pages that just came out. And we yet haven't seen it live, the code apps coming out later, what it's going to mean for our world. When I say our world, I mean more the dynamics, or let's call it CRM world. There's going to be a lot of change. But I also do think that it's because Microsoft is driving the change. And that goes both ways, right? So Microsoft trying to move away from CRM, calling it Dynamics, because they want to reinvent CRM, because Salesforce kind of has such a power in CRM. So therefore they tried Dynamics, and trying to reinvent marketing by calling it customer insight journeys, because they tried to do things all the time. I don't know who decides this, but like marketing at Microsoft tries to do these things, as they say that this is going to be great. But yet, if you look at Google search statistics, no one's searching for customer insights. They're still searching for marketing. And Fabric, I'm just examples of Fabric or Foundry, because people still will call it data warehouses or something like that, even Microsoft might have some cool terminology to it. So I think the term CRM will stick around for a while, but what we think of as the product right now, the first party applications, I think definitely will be very, very strange. Well, at the same time, we could call it first party applications or just templates. I don't know what you will say, but I think what the consultants need to learn is data modeling. And because as long as you know how to data model in Dataverse, you will have whatever UI on top you need for whatever role you have. And eventually, I guess these AIs will be a little smarter than they are right now at creating their own data models, not like, recreating the user table or recreating the contact table when we have it there already, stuff like that. But that will definitely be a huge change when you're prompting yourself to a CRM system that is what you need. Because in the honesty of everything, what we do, not everybody needs the enterprise plus functions delivered in a CRM system. Most of what we do, and even complex organizations, is we reduce the complexity to create something simple that is, that a salesperson can comprehend and then use. I mean, it doesn't really matter how large organization, the people are still people, and too advanced is sometimes too advanced. So, building simple applications that are very specific for what you need on top of a data model that gathers all data, I unfortunately see that as very much the way we are going, because I'm a bit afraid of what the CRM part is going to be up in this. But hopefully the term CRM as, where we store customer data and respect the, the dialogues we have and stuff like that. As long as we can use that, I'm happy.
I totally agree, for various reasons, as you can imagine. But I think you said something very important. You said what you need, what the customer needs, and that's the real topic that a good consultant especially has to do. This is, I think, the core idea is to not do what the customer wants, but to go one step further what they need. I mean, you do basically what they want, but you see the problems beforehand, before they see it. For example, if they say we want to, I don't know, build a car, and you say, yeah, that's a nice idea, but I don't think you necessarily need horses for them. This is what I mean, right? What Ford basically said. Yeah. So to go ahead, and I think that's it. And AI at the moment is exactly doing what the consultant 1.0 does, exactly what you say, but not what you need necessarily. And this is where we need to prepare also one step ahead and to create the model and everything, what is needed on the other side. And then this will be becoming more and more different.
But we have gone through so many amazing questions. It's been quite a ride. So thank you so much to both for your truly deep insights. And thank you to Fortunado for being my co-host today. And a big thank you to everyone listening to us. You've made our geeky heart smile. So thank you for being part of this first episode and journey with us. The final thing, we would like to invite everyone actually to join us on this topic online. What do you think about CRM? Do you think it's going to be still around in 5 or 25 years, whether you're going to join us on that day or not? Is the AI answer to everything, or is there a common path of convergence? We would love to hear your thoughts before we sign off and wish you all goodbye for now. But please do share with us your thoughts.
And in the spirit of fun surprises, our next show is already in the works. As soon as we have a date, we'll let you know. So stay tuned. In the meantime, follow us on LinkedIn through the M365 Show Family Network account. Enjoy your CRM adventures and keep rocking. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.